There is one change that I made to my editing process that gave me back hours on every single project. Build the audio first. I started building the entire edit around the audio before I touched a single clip. It sounds a little backwards, but it's not. Let me show you why. Hey, I'm Ryan Luth. I'm a filmmaker based in Orange County, California. My wife and I run a production company called Outlands Media Group. This channel isn't so much about gear reviews or color grading tutorials, it's about the real, unfiltered lessons of building a production company. The wins, the failures, and everything in between, as well as some of the things that I've learned along the way that have helped me be more intentional in the work that I do. My faith in God has shaped a lot of how I approach this craft, and that shows up here too. So if that's useful to you, stick around. And if it is, subscribing and leaving a comment does genuinely help this channel reach other filmmakers trying to figure the same thing out too. But first, before anything, yerba mate. Way more caffeine than coffee, makes me feel 10 times better. This is what keeps me running most days. Here's how most people edit. You pick your best clips first, lay them out, and then try to retime everything to a music track and make the pacing work after the fact. I don't know which clip to pick or what to start with. I don't know, that's a cool clip. That looks nice. Maybe this one next. I don't know. See, it takes a really long time, and then you gotta go and you grab your music track. Let's say we use this, and that gets layered over top, and then I gotta go retime everything. I did this for years, and it's slow because you're constantly second guessing which shots earn a place in the edit, then reworking the timing every time the music tells you something doesn't fit. So here's the shift. Build the audio first. I talked a little bit about this in my last video, and I wanted to do a bit more of a breakdown on this. So this won't work for every project. Obviously, narrative work still needs coverage and dialogue laid out before music even enters the picture. But for the bulk of what most of us edit, promos, brand docs, product launches, that sort of stuff, this has been a game changer. Most of these projects follow the same shape. Voiceover over music, maybe a line of dialogue or an interview snippet woven in. So before I touch the footage, I treat the edit like I'm producing an audiobook or something like that. I pick one or two tracks that carry the emotion I'm going for. I lay the voiceover and dialogue on top. I nail the pacing, the emotional beats, the intro and outro entirely without the footage in the timeline. Only once that structure is locked do I actually start layering in the visuals. And that order matters because now you've built a foundation before you start picking clips, which means every clip that you put in has to answer to that structure. And if a shot doesn't serve the story, it doesn't make the cut. Simple as that. You're no longer trying to cram your best looking footage into an edit that has no shape yet. You're filling in a structure that already knows what it needs. So here's an example. This is what it looked like on a recent project, a brand documentary for the Utopia Fold 2 e-bike launch that we did. All right, let's take a little look here. So this right here is the sequence that I created for this project. We have our interview stuff laid down first. The tan is all the B-roll. All this down here is our sound design. This in the yellow is our music. This is a mastered version of the dialogue. Let me show you how I do this. I will lay down the audio tracks first. I figure out all the pacing. I figure out the emotional beats and how long I want it to be. So that way when it ends exactly how I want it to end. It starts exactly how I want it to start, and any of the transitional moments in between are already figured out. So you'll see here, I actually looped a couple things. I have mixed and retimed a lot of the music to two different tracks, and then I have a little transition spot here where it ends. Cool, because I know that a new song is going to be starting, and then the upbeat version of it, basically, with another little transition drop. And then it starts into a new one. So basically, I go and create all of that first. But what I will do at the same time is I will also bring in my dialogue and my voiceover. I have my interview segment, and that's what it starts out with. And then I add in my voiceover lines.
Best moments aren't planned. You never know where you'll go.
Right? And then I have my little transition.
There was a time when we didn't
And then it goes
spend that
into
much
another
time.
segment of talking to camera. The other guy talks, and then we have the ending with the voiceover. So basically I've gone, and this is my foundation. This is what I'm going to be building off of. Let's bring in the mastered track. So this is just the mastered dialogue and everything, because we had the DJI Mic 2s hooked up on them, and then I also recorded a voiceover with the DJI Mic 2s with the lady. Once I have this, I have a structure to build off of. I have an actual story structure. I know what clips I need to put in here, and that's when I will start layering in all of my footage. Now I got all my footage in, and all of this was pretty simple. Like, it literally took me only like a day, maybe a day and a half, just to get all the footage and pick through everything, because I had a structure for everything. Whereas in the past, it would take me a really, really long time. Like, I would spend like a week doing this. Obviously, this is the uncolored version. This is just an adjustment layer I have over it at the moment. And then after the fact of everything, the last thing I do is my sound design. These are all the different bike sounds, transition sounds, ambiance, seagulls. So as I'm listening through to it, as I'm creating the foundation, I kind of already am starting to picture, oh, okay, this would go good here. That would go good there. This is a great spot for them to talk and see them on camera. This is a great spot to insert what they're talking about.
In the open and enjoying the sunlight.
Enjoying the sunlight. Great. There's a shot of them enjoying the sunlight. It just kind of like helps bring a much quicker process to your editing workflow. I'll be honest, some of this probably comes from being a musician. I play drums and guitar, and I think that's part of why I gravitate towards hearing the edit before I see it. Even when I'm like writing a script and I need inspiration, I'll put on instrumental music, go for a walk, and come back able to visualize the piece a lot more clearly. So this workflow won't be right for everyone. Editing is deeply tied, I think, to how your brain works, but if you've been stuck fighting your footage into place, this might be worth trying. So that's it, short and simple. Start with the audio and then build around it. I'd genuinely like to know how you guys approach this, if you use a similar process or something completely different. There's no single right workflow, but I hope this saves you some time and helps you get past your editor's block, because time is the most valuable thing we have. I've come to realize over the years of being married, running my own business, trying to visit family that live out of the country, time is very valuable, and it's become something that I have started to value more and more and more as the years go on. The way my day goes, I like to make sure I have at least an hour every morning to spend time reading my Bible, spending time in prayer. And I want to make sure I have time to go out on dates with my wife. I want to make sure I have time that I can set aside to head out of the country and go visit family, trying to do it more than once a year. Total tangent there, but I think at the end of the day, making sure you are making the most of your time is a really important thing to do. So if this was helpful, drop a comment and I'll see you in the next one.